Hi, this is Mark from Skywagon University, and today we're going to talk about a 1946 Aronca A11 Chief. So back 46 to 50, they made 6,000 Champs and 2,000-ish Chiefs. So a Champ is tandem, stick, one behind the other, and they were kind of aimed at the J3 competition market, you know, fabrics, tandem, 65 horsepower trainer. The Chief is side by side with a little baggage area behind and yokes. So it's a sort of the more sort of grown-up version apparently, but it sold 4 times less. So let's have a little bit of a look around it. So basically it's a tubular framed body fuselage, spruce spars in the wings, spars, fabric covered, wood leading edges, metal cowling. This plane, a little bit of history about it. It's a 46. It was made the year after the Second World War ended. It spent 30 years in a barn in the rafters in Ione, south of us here in Northern California, and then somebody rescued it, the current owner, and made it fly again. I flew it yesterday for the first time. So, I mean, it's got a 65 horsepower Continental in it. Let's have a look at that. They burn about 3.5–4 gallons an hour. It does about 90. They're just really a nice little local flyer. You wouldn't want to go over the Rockies in it. So here's the engine, 4-cylinder, whoops, tradition. So 65 horsepower, 4-cylinder Continental, and it's got, I mean, it's an older overhaul, but it's been gone through, so it's kind of reliable. No starter on it. It's not electric. There's no electrical system on it. So I amusingly say that it's got a Hemingway starter, which means farewell to arms. And anybody who reads Hemingway will know that Farewell to Arms is one of his books, and that's a joke. 65 horsepower, small little Continental, not a lot of compression, and so that it's very easy to do that start. And what we're going to do is get the camera on a tripod, and have Don come around in front for a bit of fame and hand prop the thing while I'm in it, so we can fly it and show you how to do a hand prop. Don't try it at home. Don't do it unless somebody who knows you, you know and trust, is helping you do it. Don't try and hand prop a plane. You got to know what you're doing. But this has no electrical system, so it'll always stop if it's set up right. It'll always stop like this, so that you can literally be in the right position. You do not want to be hand propping like this, and you don't want to be moving the propeller into the perfect position in case it's on, and then it will start, because they start very easily. If you're on your own, you literally tie the tail wheel to a tie down or the bumper of your truck or something and crack the throttle barely, just a little bit. Put it on the left mag, barely crack the throttle, start it idling, untie it, get in, fly away, put it onto 2 mags, but we'll show you that later. So the gear, conventional, tail dragger. It's got struts in here with a grease point here, so it's quite forgiving. It doesn't bounce you into the air. It's kind of nice for a trainer. Double struts, fabric wings, no flaps. So if you're high, you got to slip it. No flaps, or you just plan your descent correctly. Very, very light on the controls. In fact, the whole plane weighs 1,250 pounds. So numbers, 1,250 pound gross weight. 1,250 pounds empty weight. It holds 15 gallons of fuel. There's an 8-gallon reserve in the back. It burns about 3 or 4 gallons an hour, and it does about 90 knots. And the useful load is 486 pounds. So basically, 1 person and full fuel, or 2 people and half fuel, even though they'll carry a little bit better than that. And then just a view from around the back. It's very conventional. I mean, it's got the flying wires on the tail, a normal elevator with a trim tab, metal. There's a gas cap there on the top of the fuselage. That's for 8 gallons in a reserve tank that this particular plane has. A normal tail wheel with direct positive steering, but then you've got brakes to help it around. We'll show you that when we go inside it. So let's have a look inside it now. So here we are inside it. Amazingly complex array of digital Garmin instruments. And not really. Oil temp and pressure. In fact, oil temp. Altimeter, tack, speed, and oil pressure, the ball, keep it straight, very sensitive rudder on these, and then just basically fuel on and off, primer, carb heat, and mags. No mixture, that's fuel on and off, mags on and off. You start the engine by turning it to the left mag, hand prop it, and then you go to both, and then when you shut it down, you turn off the ignition like in a car. Yokes, side by side. Remember the Champ would have been single seat tandem with a stick in the middle. Side by side yokes. A little battery powered intercom portable with an external antenna for radio. No ADSB, no lights. And then the usual sort of compass. And then up here is a Model A fuel gauge. It literally is a Model A fuel gauge, with the visible amount physically behind the glass right there. And in the back there's another little fuel gauge. And then wooden floorboards. Wood. And then inside, if we get a close-up, you can see the brakes. So the rudder pedals are conventional, and if you press down with your foot, it's not like a heel brake on the floor like in a Cub. You press down with the foot on the back of this, that's the brake, and they're very good. But you don't need them for landing, you need them for steering and turning on the ground. Their rudder is effective enough, and we'll fly it later and hope I get away with it and I can show you how they land. 2 seats, and then a little baggage area here that can hold, you know, maps, light luggage, headsets, things like that. And then trim, nose down, nose up. And actually when I flew it yesterday, that's the friction on it. When I flew it yesterday, I barely moved the trim the whole flight. It needed to be moved like a 1/4 of an inch, so you wouldn't hardly even touch it. Windows, nice, you can fly it open, both, in the middle or all the way back. It's only doing 70 miles an hour, you can fly with the windows open. So it's really like a little sort of $100 burger machine, or something to go and have fun in, get off the ground. I don't know if it could be light sport, but 1,250 pound empty weight means it might be able to be light sport. So that's the inside. Let's see how it flies. So we're going to do hand prop. I'm in the plane, Dawn is outside. You got to be careful with this. You ready?
Brakes.
Brakes on.
Ignition.
Left mag's on. Throttle is cracked.
Contact.
Contact. That is how that's safely done. Then you go to both mags and we taxi. And watch how it idles. Look at this. You just pull it back to idle. It's like a Swiss watch. It's like tick, 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 tick. That's 450, 500 RPM. Air conditioner's on. In fact, when you're flying, it's nice to have it in the middle, because in the middle, a little bit of air comes in the back as well. And it's not cool today. We had 117 degrees here about 3 or 4 weeks ago, and it's, you know, this is like late September. So mid-September, 117 degrees, and within 4 days it was 62 degrees, which was great. Being British, I'm used to temperatures, anything over 80 is like ridiculous. Today is 90 something. So just take off the brakes and it just starts rolling. I mean, and then I made an error earlier. I was talking about the empty weight's 1,250 pounds. It isn't. The gross weight is 1,250 pounds. The empty weight is 820 pounds, and the useful load is 400 and something pounds. So Dawn pointed that out to me afterwards, because we did a bit of quick research on it before we started videoing. So it's 800 and something pounds empty weight. And then this is the road. Everybody goes, why are you on a road? You're on a road. How come you're on a road? The runway is right there. So I just came down this side road because it's scenic. They're doing the videos on. And it leads to some hangars that have not been built yet here at Placerville. So we come up over the top of this ridge, and there's the runway, and there's the airport. So it just means there's no clutter in the background, and the planes look nicer for videoing. Very positive tail wheel steering, so you do not need brakes unless you want to slow down. No mixture either, you've literally got throttle.
Little bit of heel brake to get it to turn. And then the usual run up. Left mag, right mag, left mag, both. Okay, check final is clear. Placerville Chief 9231 Echo is departing runway 23, a local flight, Placerville. It takes off at about 40. .65 horsepower of fire breathing power. Tail up. And she's in the air. You can see down there we've got a lot of helicopters and things from the mosquito fire, which has just been put out under control. They're kind of leaving now. So the last of the helicopters is still at Placerville. We even had a temporary tower. So I'm not sure how accurate the airspeed indicator is, because it says we're doing 80 and it looks like we're doing about 60. Got ambitions beyond their abilities. Amazing to think this plane is built in 1946. I had an old Bentley Mark 6, 1952, and when I bought it from the guy, he said, you don't own this thing, you're a custodian of it, because other people have had it before and other people will have it after. And that's like these. I mean, this plane was in a barn in the rafters for 30 years and now it's flying again. So somebody can buy this and look after it for a few years, sell it when they're finished with it, and it'll continue. It'll probably get to be 100 years old one day. So we're at pattern altitude, we're on downwind, Placerville traffic, Aronka Chief 9231 Echo is on left downwind for runway 23 at Placerville. Very sensitive rudder, which makes it a good trainer. I've hardly touched, I haven't touched the trim. It took off trim, it's cruising trim. I mean, I'm not going to touch the trim, it's going to land like this too. There's no flaps to change the configuration, so I probably won't have to trim it at all. Placerville, Chief 9231 Echo, left base, 23 full stop Placerville. So I'm going to be 100% honest, this is the second time I've ever flown it, so I'm not going to do a quick shortcut turn and put it on its landing in its own length. I'm going to do a long, slow final and get everything really nice and straight. Because it is a tail dragger. So we got the speed way down. Placerville, 31 Echo, final, full stop on 23 at Placerville. Backfiring. I'm actually going to trim it a bit, barely though. And I'm going to slip it. Because I don't have flaps. So because I don't think the airspeed indicator is accurate, this feels like 55 something and it's showing 65, 70. I'm going to wheel land it like this. And all you got to remember in a tail dragger is keep it straight. Keep it straight. we made it. Was that on camera? No, it's very, very, it's a trainer. I mean, they're trainers, so they're very, very docile. And they've proven their time for 75 years plus. I mean, if somebody wants to buy a plane like this for under 30 grand and have fun in it, it's got like only 2,600 hours on its airframe and its engine's got like 500. You could fly this thing for years, have fun in it, and sell it and get the money back and be free flying. You can hardly beat them. So I'll taxi to the hangar and park it there and shut it down there, because if I shut it down up here I'm going to have to restart it again with the Hemingway starter. So I'll shut it down once at the hangar and we'll end the video there. Out the left side of the aircraft you'll currently see my inventory. It's like a tour. And an amusing aside, the name Aeronca apparently comes from Aeronautical Company of America, Aeronca. And they've stopped making planes like this, of course, years ago, but they currently make missiles and other sort of aerospace equipment. You can imagine a missile with a tubular steel frame and a tiny little engine covered in fabric that does 80 knots. Not the most effective missile, although they probably have made them different to that now, I hope. The timing is normally set on a plane you have to hand prop, so that the propeller stops in the perfect position to be able to hand prop it next time. But let's see if it does when I shut it down. We're just coming up on the hangar here. I'm going to put it in. Fabric plane's got to go inside. Okay, let's see where the prop stops. And obviously remember there's no mixture, you just turn it off with a key. So stop right here and let it idle and off. Bam. See how the prop stopped? Perfect for the next hand start. Ignition's off and we're out.
So there we are, we survived. 65 horsepower, Aeronca Chief, A11 Chief. So this is Mark at Skywagon University, just having done another quick brief video on a tour of a plane that we have here. If you like these, there's a lot of them. If you like these, just subscribe on the little link here, and there's a notification bell. Click on that and it lets us, the more subscribers we get, the more we can do more of these videos. And then people giving tips and ideas about different planes to do. If we get them in, we will. It's just like, they don't, I mean, I'd like to do a 195. I don't have a 195, but if someone's got a 195, and there are a couple of people who've already contacted me. I've been very busy with selling of the planes, so I haven't actually been back in touch, but I will be back in touch about those other planes too. But thanks for watching, and we'll see you soon.